Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. This is the official match review for the game between Scotland and France at Murrayfield, and my oh my, this was not a friendly. In the books it will say it's a friendly, but this was an absolutely brutal game. One of the best games that I've seen in a while. Up and down the field. I mean, beautiful. I've got nothing bad to say about any of the two teams. Great performances. Let's get into it. Scotland victors at Murrayfield today against the French. Yeah, you could say it was a rotated French team, but I mean, just looking past the score, to come back against any team, even if you're a national team playing against a province, I don't even care. Coming back from 3-21 down and winning the game 25-21 is absolutely crazy. To keep the French team scoreless in the second half was just magical, and that was mostly with 14 players down, or with 14 players on the field. Zander Fagerson literally got a red card in the 55th minute, so they played 25 minutes in the second half and literally still beat the French. In the first half, a lot of positives for the Scottish. I can't talk too much about the French team, to be honest. I don't know too many of the players because of the rotation, but I mean, it was a strong Scottish team from the get-go, and I thought there was a lot of promising signs from the start in the attack. I think Duan van der Merwe had an absolutely brilliant game. Russell, when he got his groove, really got into it. Tuipulotu had the guy was a monster. And of course, Darcy Graham always causes absolute havoc. But the standout guy for me, and I think he got man of the match as well, was Blair Kinghorn. Now, I predicted the French to win this game. But my oh my, Scotland just deserved to win it, man. I think even though you got that home field advantage, the boost, they just played out of their skin. They looked scary today. Now, I would be lying if I wasn't saying that my asshole isn't doing this coming to the World Cup, especially because we are not on the best of forms. Yeah, we beat Australia a couple of weeks ago, but then we lost badly against New Zealand. We had a horrible performance against Argentina. We're playing a rotated side tonight against Argentina. I'm not too confident going into that game. I do believe we'll win it. But I mean, this group of death in the Rugby World Cup, it's frightening. Because even though you just think about the three big teams, Ireland, South Africa, Scotland, with people mostly thinking Scotland will pull an upset victory over us, the way they played today, the heart and fight they showed today against the French, they could pull a victory over Ireland even. And I do rate Ireland. I do banter all of the Northern Hemisphere teams because I'm Southern Hemisphere. But I mean, you just got to respect this team. And then you've got those three teams. And then, of course, you got Tonga, who can pull a victory over anyone with the physicality they have, with the names they have. But I mean, I can't go any further than just to say respect to Scotland. I did not expect them to win this game, especially not being down 18 points after the first half. I mean, literally the first half started, Finn Russell got the first points on the board, 3-0. The French couldn't touch the ball in that first 4 minutes. And then from there on, it was just dominant from the French team. The French, even though I said the Scottish attack was absolutely brilliant, I think the French defense was great. And then the Scottish struggled to keep up with the intensity of the attack from the French, because they're so diverse in the attack, in running and kicking the ball. They just found so much grass every time they kicked the ball, whether it was an attacking kick, defensive kick. I think the defense of Scotland was all over the place, and that came with the first try from Baptiste Loud, whatever. I don't even care. I think that just showcased their counter-attack. We know the French love a little bit of kicking. I think they kick the most of any team. And they love a counter-attack try. It was a beautiful try. I think the kick came from the scrum off Ben White. French recovered the ball, spread it out wide. Beautiful little hands. And then they just went on under the post. From there on, it was just almost French dominant in the first half. It just felt like the Scottish couldn't get their hands on the ball, couldn't get a grip of the game. And then I do remember at the end of the first half, I really thought the Scottish got their way back, got some confidence, started running the ball, but they just made too many mistakes. They weren't clinical enough coming into the French half and then knocking the ball on. cynical penalties. I know they were about 10 meters away, and then they just clean the guy off the ball. But the guy never even tracked back, so it's just cynical penalties, easy, a get out of jail free card for the French. But then the second half started, and it was just like a switch. There was a point in, I think there was a graphic that came up with the last 10 minutes of possession, and the Scottish had 93% possession of the ball. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, anyway, moving into some individual performances. And as I said, I think King Horn got man of the match. And the guy was absolutely brilliant. Slotting in perfectly, filling in that role for Stuart Hogg, who's announced his retirement. I think the guy was absolutely brilliant today. Every time he touched the ball, he turned into some magic. Of course, Dwan van der Merwe, the South African, really showcased his class once again, beating so many defenders. I mean, it was scary what Scotland was able to do in that second half. I'm almost a bit flustered because I didn't expect it at all. It just took me off of my feet. So Gregor Townsend can really be proud of his team. Fabian Galche can also be proud of his team to have a B team in most people's eyes, or well, it is a B team. And still take Scotland all the way. I'm sure he got a couple of answers that he needed for the players he's taking to the World Cup. Scotland can take a lot of positives from this moving forward. This can be a big momentum step for the Scottish going into the Rugby World Cup, knowing they can be down, find some fighting spirit, get back into the game, and even win the game. I mean, I can't knock it. I was going to make a video and just absolutely banter both teams, but I mean, when you have a game like this, that is just a joy to watch from start to finish, you can't do anything else but respect it. So I'll raise my hands and I'll just give it to them. And I love the fact that the Scots actually matched physically with the French. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Usually the French are one of the most dominant teams when it comes to their physicality. Now, I know they don't have their main guys there, but that doesn't take away anything of the physicality of the players that was playing. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you thought about the game. Obviously, I can't go into too much depth about these games because I don't know too much about them. I'll admit that. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.